Have you ever experienced grief? I can tell you for free that at some point in your life, you're going to experience grief. Today, we're going to be talking about grief, but not just grief, grief in the workplace. You're welcome to Coffee Couch and Conversations. My name is Bukky. And in the past few years, I personally have experienced grief. I've lost my mom and I've lost my dear sister. I've also lost other family members and friends. Have you ever experienced grief? Many people look at me and they say, "Oh, Bukky, you're so strong." Am I really strong? How did I cope during these times? Or how am I even coping till this very day? One of the things that helped me was the fact that I went through grief counseling. I find that in this part of the world, we find it very difficult to talk about loss. We find it difficult to talk about grief. At some point during this series, we're going to be looking at life insurance. We're going to be looking at estates, wills, and trust. These are morbid conversations to have, but they're very important conversations to have. Because whether we like it or not, at some point, we're all going to transition and leave this world. That is fact. Let's talk about grief in the workplace. How do we navigate grief in the workplace? Many organizations have grief policies, and that is commendable. But it goes beyond having the grief policy. Sometimes these grief policies allow us to stay home for 3 days to mourn or to bury or to do whatever we need to do to come through this particular period of our lives. 3 days is not enough. It's not enough. I'm speaking from experience. It's great, but it's not enough. So what next? What else do we do? Human resource professionals should be ready to have the difficult conversations with our employees or our colleagues, talking them through the process of grief and how to navigate it, especially when it comes to performance. You find that star employee is suddenly declining in his or her performance because they've experienced loss and they're going through grief. Like I mentioned earlier, one of the things that helped me significantly was having grief counseling. But outside of the grief counseling, I had a very strong support system. In my organization, we have a grief policy. But I can tell you that even from someone who was part of the formation of that policy, having experienced grief myself, I know that 3 days is not enough. I encourage all of us to talk about grief. I encourage us, if we're experiencing it, to have someone that we can share our deepest feelings with. We find ourselves sinking into a rabbit hole if we don't. Depression starts to lurk around the corner. Performance starts to drop. We start to lack social skills and so many other things. Grief is painful. When I lost my mom, we kind of saw it coming. But with my sister, we didn't see that coming at all. It was very sudden and it was a shock to the family. How did we navigate through that period? Outside of having that grief counseling, which was very significant for me, because one thing I learned during that period was that the absence from the body is the presence of God. So that gave me real comfort and solace, knowing that she is in a better place and she is resting. Whether we like it or not, we're all going to experience grief at some point in time in our lives. We may never be prepared for it. In fact, we will never be prepared for what comes with grief. However, when it does happen, how do we manage our emotions? How do we manage ourselves to the point where it's not affecting our performance? I'm hoping that many organizations put in grief policies in their policies, in their employee handbook, in their corporate culture and structure, so that it can help their members, their employees, their colleagues to navigate through that journey when that time does come. You might be thinking, "Oh, what's wrong with her? Is she the only one that had lost a parent? Is she the only one that lost a sibling?" But everybody handles grief very differently. What is difficult for you might be easy for me, and the other way around as well. But if you have a strong support system, which I did at the time, and I'm thankful for, but not everybody has a strong support system. But if you have a strong support system, leverage on that. Call that one close friend or family. Cry if you have to. Scream if you have to. Vent if you have to. but learn to pick yourself back up because life must continue. The people who have departed and who are now deceased, think about them. Would they want you to be sorrowful? Would they want you to be depressed? Or would they want you to pick up where they left off from? I think in my experience, I started to find things that I know would make my family members proud of me, especially my sister. I started to do things in her memory. I kept myself very busy. I took on a new hobby. I started to exercise and work out. I took my health very seriously. I took on a new role in a finance company in her legacy, right? So you have to do things that you know the departed person would be proud of. Do things that will make them happy even from far and away. Do things that will give you energy and joyful spirit. If you're religious, move closer to your God. Whether you're Christian, Muslim, Hindu, whatever religion you practice, it doesn't matter. Find peace in the word of the God that you serve. It helps, trust me. And take time to yourself. You don't always have to pick up that call. Nigerians really don't give people time to mourn or to grieve. They want to know, so what happened? Where did it happen? How did it happen? Sometimes that is not the best time to ask those questions. Those questions will be answered over time. But for the person that is currently experiencing the grief, that very moment might not be the best time to answer those questions. Give them time to, just take some time out on their own to ponder, to reflect. These things are very important. A lot is happening in our society today where we're seeing younger people pass on for one reason or the other. It's unprecedented. We've seen very, very, very large number of younger people passing on. And that means that at some point, it's going to come full circle. You're going to experience it. I hate to be the bearer of this news to you, but it's the reality. So we need to also be somewhat mentally prepared of some of the ways we can cope when these things happen so we don't fall into depression. Like I said, having a grievance policy in the workplace is important. Having a strong support system is important. Having an HR personnel that listens. Having colleagues that are ready to step in and help to support you on your tasks. And also going through therapy or counseling. Many of us believe that therapy is something that the Western world does. Nigerians, we don't do that. But no, we're human. If you cut through our veins, guess what comes out? It's blood, like every other human. We need that therapy. We need to hear from a neutral person about grief. We need to learn how to navigate. Take on a sport. Start swimming, play tennis, do anything that would take you away from sorrow. Because the reality is, whether we like it or not, that person is not coming back. Nothing we can do from now till the end of time will bring that person back. Unfortunately, it's the reality. And like I said, over the course of this series, we're going to be looking at ways to mitigate against putting people in a bad financial position as well. You find out a lot of fathers pass on and their families suffer. But while he was alive, they were thriving and doing well. Nobody needs to go through that. We need to put processes in place to prepare us for that. But generally speaking, in this environment, we need to pace ourselves with these conversations. But they are hard conversations that need to be had. I'm thankful for my support system. I'm thankful for the workplace policies that we have that supported me. I'm glad I had the opportunity to go through therapy and counseling. And what we need to understand also is that therapy is not a one-off thing. Sometimes you need to go and, just vent, cry, and share those emotions over and over again till you find a soft landing, till you're able to get back on your feet. Performance can be greatly affected because of grief. We need to be very mindful of that. And it takes a very emotionally intelligent manager or HR manager to understand these things. Don't go about saying, are you the only one? No, that's not the right approach. Instead, say, there's a shoulder you can lean on if you need to. You can come to me. I have a listening ear for you. Let people know that they can find comfort and solace. Your secret is safe with me. Come, let's talk. Let's go out for dinner. Let's have a drink together. Let's talk about it if you want to. If you just need me to sit here and just be here with you in silence, I'm here for you as well. Let people know that you're really there for support. Don't just say it with words, show it in action as well. These things go a long way. And for you that you're experiencing grief, understand that you must continue to live your life to make those that have departed to be proud of you. They're looking down from where they are and they're proud of you because you've picked yourself back up and you're living again. These things are very important amongst other things. I empathize with those of us that are grieving, those of us that have lost a loved one, and those of us that are presently in that journey right now. I would like to take a moment of silence in their honor. Thank you. Let's remember that grief is a journey. It's not something that just stops just because you've gone through counseling or just because your loved one has been buried. No, it's a lifelong journey. You just learn to live without that person. Nobody can replace that person in your life. We understand that. But you can do things that will make you happy and also continue to live out the memory of your loved ones, especially the ones that have been departed from the earth. This video is in memory of my sister, Abisola Kamsin, and in memory of my childhood friend and also sister, Abisola Koladaisi. May your souls continue to rest in peace. Amen. Thank you.